Welcome to Rise Up in Business, the law podcast for small business owners. I'm your host, Tracy Myler-Crane. I'm a business lawyer, an entrepreneur, and very much a realist. Rise Up in Business is designed to share with small business owners important legal information and some clever tips and tricks in short and sharp episodes, no legal jargon. With this podcast, I want to empower small business owners to rise up and take control in their business. I'll be here every Wednesday to tell you what you need to know without sending you to sleep. Let's get into today's episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Rise Up in Business podcast. Oh my gosh, today's episode is going to be fun. In the spirit of continuing to bring you, my listeners, some real value in your business that you can apply straight away, I'm going to be talking about copywriting today, and I'm talking to Rachel Rennie from Frankly Right, who is my magical copywriter. Hey, Rach.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is fun. I love doing this.
I've been really looking forward to having you on because, one, I want to share you with my listeners because I think that everyone should know about you. And two, so many small business owners are talking lately about copywriting and do I need a copywriter? What's the difference in copywriters? And the biggie, are they going to get me or are they just going to muck it up and is it actually going to sound like me? So I wanted to bring you on so I can share with everybody my journey and how it came about that we met each other. I think we started working together about a year ago.
Yeah, it might even be longer. It's been a while. Time flies.
It does. Oh, gosh. Rach, tell us a bit about your business first so that there's a little bit of background and context into who you are and why you do what you do.
Yeah, so Frankly Right, we've recently morphed into a studio. So I now have the absolute pleasure of working with two other amazing brand strategists and copywriters. So
Yeah.
big yay. They're amazing. So we are a brand and copy studio and we are brand and copy strategists. So that means we're copywriters, but we also develop copy around conversions and data and around your brand. So the big thing that we always do is make sure that brand voice sings true across everything. And to really we really work on honing in on people's voices and what they want to sound like and what kind of language they want to use. And so that's what we do in a nutshell.
And you also do, so part of what you're saying, I'm going to convert that into my language, part of what you're saying is SEO work as well.
Oh, yes, we love SEO. So SEO is part of the data side of what we do. And we create strategies we work in organic SEO. So SEO's got three parts. There's technical SEO, on-page SEO, and off-page SEO. And we work mainly with technical and on-page. So it's organic SEO. There's no paid ads. There's nothing paid driving people to your site. It's all based on creating a strategy and using the right language to not only appease the Google gods, but also the people who are going to be actually clicking onto your site and finding your pages.
Oh, and there is so much value in that. And I'll give some context around the work that you do. You are an integral part of my team. You know that.
Oh,
everybody else will know that now too. SEO is something that, for me, over my head. Oh my gosh, I have no interest in understanding it. I know it's important. I don't want to learn it. And I also don't want to do paid Google ads and words and things like that. And so when I met you and you explained to me the work that you do and the ongoing SEO work that you do, oh my gosh, it was a match made in heaven. And I've got to say, I feel so confident with my organic reach on my website and the work we do every second month together. It's just improving. It's just continuing to improve. And for me as a business owner, Nothing beats peace of mind. And I tell you, we've nailed that when it comes to my website and that ongoing SEO work. And I love it. So I'm very grateful for that.
I'm so every time I do your so we do not little. I'm always downplaying my work.
Yes, you are.
We do audits we can do them every quarter, we can do them bi-monthly, and every time we run through an audit of your site, check, where it's ranking and how you're doing, the numbers just are going up, 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 up. Like we're just moving further into the green every time we check it. It's actually it's always astounds me, even though I know that what we do is good and all that kind of stuff. I think the real credit comes to you because you're writing the pieces. You and your team are writing the pieces and we're just kind of guiding you on the strategy. And so it means that people are sticking around. Like, yes, we're helping get them there, but they're reading it. They want to know what you're saying.
We aim to please. And as a team, I think we're doing it really well. So I'm going to share with people how it is I came to meet you. So probably about 18 months ago, my business coach said to me, "Oh, Tracy, you really need to speak to a copywriter to at least work on your homepage, your landing page for your website." And I didn't really know that was going to be a good idea because I thought, oh no, my business is a bit different, law practice, trying to not be that boring and stuffy lawyer. I thought the copy on my landing page was pretty good. And I thought, oh, really? Do I need a copywriter? And I had all these barriers come up and all these stories come up about they're not going to get me, they're not going to get my voice, it won't be me. How do you work with a copywriter? But then she recommended you to me and I landed on your webpage. And by the end of that little due diligence, I suppose, when I was stalking you on Instagram and then stalked your webpage, I was convinced that we needed a complete overhaul of my whole website, not just the landing page, because I loved it so much because your website is beautiful in conveying the story. So that started breaking down my barriers. Then I reached out to you and had a chat with you and I was really, really upfront. How are you going to know me? What are you going to do? And I'll get you to go through the process in a minute of what you do to get to know someone. But just for the listener's sake, I don't do anything now without flicking it over to Rach to say, hey, I've got this idea. I've got this course I want to launch. This is what it's about. Can you just do my copy? And because you're such an integral part of my team, you and your team are able to go, yep, and jump on it and turn something around that is so bloody good, so on brand, so me. It's just been a game changer. So how do you do it? How do you get to know someone so that they can have confidence to know that it's actually going to sound like them and not you?
Yeah, I mean, if we're making it really simple, I just ask questions. Like I'm not there to tell you what your story is. I'm not there to tell you how you should sound. So the first thing we always do is we have a big giant strategy session and everyone's like, do we really need half a day? Like, do we really need all this time? But what we're really good at is asking the right questions and pulling out the gold, because the gold for copy is always found in between the answers. Everyone's got like an answer off the top of their head, like what they do and what they want. But for us, it's all just about asking the right questions and then just letting people talk and then using strategy to kind of go, we know that's going to work really well. And we know that's going to work really well.
You had a real way of making me comfortable. So when I sat with you and I thought, oh gosh, I really don't think we're going to need half a day. But oh my gosh, it went so quickly. But you have a way of just pulling out stuff and you made me feel really comfortable. So I was blurting everything. But the questions you were asking, it was even down to music that I liked and music that I didn't like. So you really got into my head to be able to understand words that I liked, words that I didn't like. I'm a bit sweary sometimes or not. Like, it really is unique. I think that is where the real comfort came from me. So people that are thinking, oh, copywriter, because I think what I've gauged is there's copywriters and then there's copywriters. And we have to make sure that it's a good fit. That's key, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think that when you meet with a copywriter, you'll know really quickly whether you vibe with them and whether they're vibing with you. And I mean, in terms of Frankly Write's clients and who we like to work with, we've developed the copy on our website so that it's really clear who we like to work with. And if you contact us, you really know what you're going to get. So we've used our own website copy to make sure that the people who are coming to us are going to vibe with us, 99% of the time.
Job well done. Job very well done, because it is crystal clear. And I suppose that's the test, isn't it? Going to even a designer or a web designer, which I did with Zoe, who's my web designer, who you recommended to me, and forever grateful, because she will always be on my team because she's amazing. And the two of you together was I think I dubbed it the dream team, because there's a connection there. So there's a connection with me. You got to know me. You learnt what you wanted to do with my story. And then you actually went away and gave some thought to who would be a really good designer to be able to deliver what it was that you were imagining. It's a holistic team approach, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Design pulls you in. Design is the thing that pulls a client or a customer in and makes them want to look at what is there. And the messaging is then what makes it a sale. That's where the conversions really happen, mixed in with really good, UX design, user experience design, and user experience copy. And we want you to make, sales. We want you to make conversions. So we really want to be a part of your team. We become very obsessed with our clients because we want your success so badly, because that means we're doing a good job. If you're getting leads in, that means we are conversion copywriters and we're doing what we should be doing.
And you said to me when we started working together, I'm going to create a website for you and Zoe, that is like another full-time employee that's doing the work for you even when you're sleeping. And you nailed it, because it does exactly that.
What's the point of having a website if it's not working for you? Is it just a nice place to send people? It's like you own that piece of real estate on the internet, and you can make it work for you like a 24/7 employee. It can get you leads. It can push people through. Well, push people through a funnel sounds quite aggressive, but it can help filter out, people who are actually going to work with you and want to work with you or want to buy a product, and people who don't. So it's got a job.
It does, and it doesn't end there. And that's something else that people talk about, because I do a lot of strategy sessions with clients, and there's lots and lots of things that come up, and people often come to pick my brain about all sorts of business things, which I love. One of the comments is, if I get a copywriter to help with my website, isn't it just going to sound stupid when I start writing my own emails or my social media copy? And the answer to that is no, because it is you, but we have what we refer to as the Bible in our business, and that is my brand voice strategy document that you prepared. That is worth its weight in gold as well. Can you tell us about the intention behind that? What is the brand voice strategy?
Yeah, so that's the strategy sessions that we talked about before. Before we make any copy, any conversion-based copy, we have to brand your voice. So it's exactly the same as branding your images and your visuals and your logo and your colors. It's just about branding your words. So a brand voice strategy takes you from your values as a business, turns that into online behaviors, and creates a brand personality with a voice and, rules and behaviors and what you sound like and what you don't sound like. And then we give you a whole heap of tools so you can implement it, including a content strategy and a word bank and copy hooks. And it just means that every piece of copy that you then go and create, or a VA creates, is going to be on brand. It's all linking back to your values.
And it gives us confidence as business owners, and it ensures consistency. And I know that that's a big one amongst the marketers, digital marketers, social media people. The word comes up all the time, consistency. So when we're armed with our brand voice strategy document, I give it to every new team member I have. And I've recently grown the team with a new solicitor and she has a copy. And we all have confidence then. We refer back to it all the time. So that, I think, is a big takeaway for listeners, that yes, your copywriter is going to sound like you if you get the right one, but you can ensure consistency with your brand voice strategy. It's a document. And as I say, we treat it as our Bible.
That's so cool. I mean, your clients or your customers want to feel secure. They want to know when they're interacting with your brand, whether it's online or in print, they want to feel like they know you and they know your story and they know what you're about. And if you don't have consistency in your brand messaging, it can be really jarring. You know, if someone has seen you like 2 or 3 times and they think they like you, and then something comes out of the blue, or they land on your website and it's not actually like the emails they were getting or the social posts they were looking at, you've lost a sale, because people have got very short attention spans and we're not very forgiving, and we just jump to the next person.
So true. So true. Rach, I want to ask you, if people are thinking about working with a copywriter, so they're at the beginning of their journey, what tips do you have for people in that initial phase where they're thinking about, how do I find a copywriter, or should I have a copywriter?
So to find a copywriter, I would recommend following them on social media for a little while. Go through some of their posts. I guess have a feel whether their vibe is something that you like. Because chances are, I mean, copywriters, we tend to have quite strong personalities. And we tend to lean, one way or another, and we think we're artists and creative. And so we let loose in our own copy, whether it's poetic or bold or whatever. So you really want to find someone. We are magicians. I'm not a lawyer and I'm, making law copy for you, but it's also about the vibe and the personality. So that's the number one thing. Follow their socials, even download some of their freebies, have a look around on their website. You'll know pretty quickly whether it sounds like it's a personality that you want to interact with, because we get so deep in your business. We have to like each other.
It's got to be the right fit. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's one of the biggest mistakes you've seen that people make with their copy?
I mean, I'm going to say this, aren't I? But when you write your own website copy, it's so obvious. And I used to consider myself a good writer before I was a copywriter. And I remember, writing some websites just for different businesses that I worked with. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice writing. But if you don't have the knowledge of how people view websites and how user experience copy works and how people travel on their digital customer journey, if you write your own website, it might be beautiful words, but it's not going to be copywriting. You can be a really good writer and still not be a copywriter, and that's okay.
That's a big one, actually, because like I said, when I had launched my previous website for my business, I drafted the copy. I was told that's what I should do. So I put some stuff on there that I thought read really well, and it probably did for an essay or something.
Yeah.
But the business coach I was working with landed on it and said, no, people are just going to bounce straight off this. This is boring as, well, insert expletives. This is boring, and no one cares about you. They care about them, and that's something that was a big takeaway. So, yeah, I actually wholeheartedly agree with that. We know our story, we're in it, and I think we also lose objectivity.
Yeah.
We've got our skills as business owners.
And if you're not a copywriter, you're not a copywriter. It's a whole skill set. It's like what we do for a job. And just like, I could, I don't know, try and fix the wires in my house, but I'm probably not going to do a very good job. So I get an electrician in, because they know what they know what to do. They know what to look for and how to make it better. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
I love that. Tell us, how can people find you?
Oh, well, I love Instagram. So you can find on Instagram, it's frankly.write. Brand and copy strategist, the kind of funny copywriters, which we like to call ourselves, or franklywrite.co.nz. those are our two main platforms. And then we have a really great email list that we have a little bit of a joke behind, but I'll let people sign up to that and then they can see what happens behind
I'm
that.
on your email list. I love it. So I highly
We
recommend.
have a lot of fun with it.
You do.
We don't want an email list. We don't want boring emails going out. We're not newsletter type people. So it's like a little present arriving in your inbox when it comes in.
It sure is. And we're going to include the links to your Insta page and your website in the show notes so people can really, really easily pop on over and follow you. And I highly recommend that they do. Rach, I'm ending all of these sessions with 3 quick questions. So I'm going to hit you up. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right. What is the best business advice you have received?
You know what? I've had so much good business advice from so many different people. So I really think it's like, I've had great money advice from Claire Wood. I've had great legal advice from you, just from reading your social posts. And, I've had pep talks from friends when I needed it. So the best business advice I've had has come from so many different people. It would be hard to pin it down.
That's so good. So I suppose the takeaway is surround yourself with the right people.
100%. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Do you have any worse? So the next question is, what is the worst business advice you have received?
Yeah, I do actually have one. I've actually got a bit of a blog about it on the Frankly Right website. But in my very early days, I went up to management and had teams quite quickly, and I was quite young. And I was told that I had to change my management style and my personality to fit every single person in my team. So I had to, be a type, person A for that person and person B for that person. And as I've got older, it's been 15 years now in management and leading teams. And that's terrible advice. You have to be you. You have to be you.
You do. Oh my gosh.
And then you've got to build a team of people who are like, I love what you're doing. I want to, who complement your skills and who can roll with you and roll with your personality. And, I was told I was too blunt and I'm too bossy and
oh my gosh, that is terrible advice.
Yeah, it is. It was the worst. And it came from a man. So
yeah, I actually assumed that when you said it. Oh my gosh.
Well, don't be bossy from a man. And I was like, okay, sure.
Lots we could say about that, but we won't.
There's a blog about it.
Okay. Well, that will make an interesting read. The last question, and it might actually dovetail, I don't know. The last question is, what advice would you give to your younger self if you had the chance?
Oh, yeah, it's the same. It's just be yourself. Just trust yourself, trust your instincts. If you're a leader at heart and you're an entrepreneur at heart, then there's something in you that is not in everyone. It's not, and you don't have to, you can hone it and have wisdom and stuff, but you don't have to change your instincts and your gut and your drive. You can just be yourself.
I love that, Rach. Thank you. Thanks for answering those. Thank you so much for joining me. I just know that listeners are going to get so much value out of this, and we will pop all the details in the show notes. Thanks so much, Rach.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Tracy.
That's it for today's episode. Short and sharp, just like I promised. If you liked the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes, and I would be most grateful if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. As always, remember to keep your business legals in order with my annual legal checklist. You can grab your free copy by heading over to my website, tmsolicitor.com.au/checklist. I'll catch you next week. Thanks so much for listening.